Immediate intensity.
You sound like a liberal right now, dude.
Immediate intensity. As soon as Gio wraps him up, he's like, he starts moving all extra. I'm like, Bart, what are you doing?
Welcome to another mukbang episode of the Kevin Boys. Today we're eating again Ban Kung Tai Ho, which when they do the buy one get ones, great deal. When you don't do the buy one get ones, very overpriced for I think what we're getting. That's my opinion.
Shots fired.
Yeah, man, it's like a $30 meal, but this is $26 right here, dude.
Hey, thank you to the big honchos.
This
for
is
buying
why
us.
we're losing money. But you know, empty suggestion boxes.
We're not losing money, we're having fun.
This is true. Hey, we were in a really good conversation flow, what you guys were talking about right now. Can you recap that? When you were talking about specifically training for competition jiu-jitsu, where focusing on one move is better than just being like a blue belt at everything.
So you know how I recently got my beat?
Yep.
Since the day I started jiu-jitsu, so the gym I go to is like very competition oriented.
High level gym.
Because a lot of the coaches compete at super high level. So
Best in the world.
So that culture kind of like goes down, you know, kind of like trickles down. So I've always heard our coaches actually recommend people not to compete. Because they actually go like, you want to actually put yourself in a completely different mindset when you train, and it's honestly gonna take your enjoyment of jiu-jitsu away.
When you compete?
Yeah,
That's so true.
So if you do it,
That's so true.
right. So our coaches actually tell, if you aren't ready to make that leap yet, like if you want to compete, you better be training 5-6 days a week, do strength and conditioning, and run and diet. But he goes, but most people just want to do 3 days a week and then try to get a medal at the end of a month. And you're gonna go into a rude awakening because you never know who you're gonna face. And sometimes you'll see the shit guy in the gym win the tournament because somehow he found someone shit there, or sometimes the star of the gym that you think is gonna smash everyone get their ass beat. So this is the luck of the draw. But the only way to get better at competing is to compete, and that's a phrase I always heard. And I'm like, oh, I think I understand that. But after competing and I got my ass beat is when I realized, oh shit, like I really felt that. Because as a white belt and my journey to a blue belt, I'm trying to learn as much moves as possible, and that's getting good at jiu-jitsu. But to get good at competing, you actually don't need to learn 100 moves. You need to be a master at one move that you can get anybody, any blue belt, purple belt. Well, you're never gonna touch a brown or black belt, but blue and purple belt, you wanna be able to get those guys with that one move and just have a handful of tricks. So I think going into it, I was probably too well-rounded going into the competition. So now coming back, I'm glad I did the tournament, because now I'm like, I need to stop being well-rounded, and specialize on these couple of things to get better and to get to the next level at jiu-jitsu.
How do you narrow down the couple of things?
So one is you need to have one takedown. So you have to be able to dictate the fight. So you need to have one takedown you're really good at. You need to have one guard pass, which just means getting past your legs, that you're really good at. One escape you're really good at. And even at the white belt level, maybe even blue belt level, my coaches would tell me the submission honestly doesn't even matter. At that level, you just need to control someone.
Pin somebody
So
down.
if you can hold someone down and they can't get out of whatever the hell move, you don't even have to worry about an arm bar. You could just fake stall. Because this is where like getting good at competing comes into play. You're not trying to be better than them at jiu-jitsu, you're trying to win the game. So he would literally go like for example, one of the most basic moves you learn in the beginning is an arm bar. So when you get an arm bar, a lot of times you have to kind of risk that giving up position to lay down. So if you don't have a tight arm bar, as soon as your back touches the ground, the guy is gonna get up and get out of the arm bar. So my coaches would be like, if you're a white belt, don't even go for an arm bar. Just lay in side control, pretend like you're working. Look at the ref. Oh my God. Oh,
smart.
Win the game.
We're so tired.
Win the game. Like that's the goal, right? It's win the game. And I'm like, oh shit, that's like a way different mindset, because when you, from the outside, you're like, oh, this guy's jiu-jitsu's good because he was winning competition, but they're actually two different endeavors. And yes, people that are good at competing at the highest level have the highest level of jiu-jitsu, but at the beginning, I think they're actually far ends of the spectrum for a white or blue belt. And then eventually it gets there.
It's a really good point. Eventually, you start playing the game as far as the jiu-jitsu game and not just this mental kind of save your energy type game.
Because when you're a white and blue belt, like, you only know so much about jiu-jitsu. Like, your idea of what jiu-jitsu is, like, really narrow. So it's like...
I know a lot of jiu-jitsu history.
You don't have enough knowledge to even create your own game.
Exactly. So it's like, you have to just focus on, like, what's the fastest thing I can get good at quick and do it over and over and over again. And to actually be effective dealing with somebody.
I've done jiu-jitsu for many, many years, and I don't even know how to do jiu-jitsu.
But you know how to wrestle, you know how to, like, you know the basic, like, principles of jiu-jitsu, right?
I don't.
You just get up. He just stands up.
I don't remember anything. I just do it, and then I don't remember how anything happens because I have a learning disability.
I really like this conversation topic, and if I could backtrack one step, not past or before like the gaming of jiu-jitsu competition, just the idea of even like mastering one thing versus being a jack of all trades in a sense. Especially how you parallel that with like learning breaking and stuff too.
Yeah.
It's very Bruce Lee mindset, right? Where
100%.
I fear not the man who practiced 10,000 kicks one time, but the man who practiced one kick 10,000 times.
Yeah.
And it's like that's
I knew that quote too. Not even practice that.
You're like, that's a good quote. Let me try all these moves out.
Let me
real
do
quick.
10,000 things one time.
and just how that's applicable and practical in like almost every skill set. And that's when Subin was like, dude, that's just like breaking. Can you explain what you're talking about with breaking?
You do that move so many times, you don't have to think about it, right? So for breaking, you do that move so many times when it comes to competing and when it's time to get down, you don't think about it. You think about your next move. So when you throw that move, it's naturally flow. Boom. Second move comes right off the rip. And if anything, you just got to think about the next other step. So that part of learning that one move multiple fucking time and get good at that move, eventually your second move would be the same thing. It would be an easier transition and you would understand how to flow from it and how to get out using that same move. So for b-boys, like, I throw a windmill, don't even think about it. But now it's a windmill to a move, and it's also going to be considered a transition to a move again. And then at the same time, with that mentality, if you're good with that first move, your second move, same thing, focus, 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 focus. Now the first move to the second move is natural. You don't have to think about it. What you're saying earlier, it's definitely a good idea to get good at one move all the time.
Or also, like you said, if you master something and then somebody comes at you with that move, you're already a master of it, so you're already going to smoke them. Yeah. You have like 10 variations of it because you focused on one thing.
That one move, you can have 20 variations of that one move.
Because when we have guys at the academy and we watch them, and they always want to try to do all the fancy stuff.
The fancy IG shit.
Yeah, the stuff that's fun to do. Because like you said, there are moves in jiu-jitsu. The most basic moves aren't that fun because it's just like, but they're the most effective.
Yeah, they're proven and
then when you're in a competition, you're doing the most base level moves, the fundamental stuff, over and over and over and over again in a system where, you know, there's other guys trying to do the same thing. So it's like you're just trying to get your leg over this guy's thigh. Like that's the only thing you're trying to do for a minute. You guys are both battling.
Yeah, it's not sexy. It's not fancy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like no one wants to practice free throws. Everyone just wants to dunk.
Yeah. But
games are won by free throws.
Exactly. Exactly.
By guys that can't dribble. By guy can't even dribble yet. He wants to win with a dunk.
Shaq O'Neal.
But I was telling Bart, I was like, this mentality that he came up with, not came up with, but like that he's been thinking about, like practice one thing when I go compete. That shit took me to I was like a brown belt until I started thinking about it that way. Where I was like, oh yeah, I shouldn't just try a bunch of random shit. I should actually just focus on one path and then just nail that down. So Bart's ahead of the curve. He's gonna be a black belt before I was.
It's funny because we have this conversation conceptually, even in like dance culture stuff too, right?
Sure.
Today's world, maybe also accelerated by like TikTok dances and all that stuff. Everyone's a good dancer for some reason. Everybody just knows how to do things through challenges, K-pop, whatever. Like everyone's good, but very, very, very few are like great anymore. And what made somebody great wasn't just like highest level execution. It was also like innovation because we're also in like the art space, right?
Or like a performative.
That's what I was thinking in my head and you said it.
Yeah, so like the only way you innovate sometimes though is when you don't get good at what everybody's good at.
100%.
You have to be so you could be okay sucking at what everybody else can do, but you're so good at what you do, because light breaking, it means if you master one type of style, you like evolve the style, or you like come up with the next version of it, or you have variations of it, and that's what makes it stylistic.
Especially if you're competing, right? Because you see on the biggest stage with all the best people in the world.
Yeah, so like students be coming up all the time, like, how do I get better, blah blah blah, and it's like that's such a fucking loaded question. It's like, okay, practice 1 billion hours and you'll for sure get better. But it's like, if your goal is to be an artist, your goal is to be a choreographer, if your goal is to stand out, it's like, dude, don't be a dime a dozen. Everybody's just good at moving. Don't just try to be like everybody. It's like, what do you like? And then attack only that for a long time and dedicate yourself almost like a psycho. And then you'll stand out.
How many white belts do you see in competitions winning with fancy moves?
0.
So like, wouldn't, like,
You don't
as
even
somebody
see
who's
black belts,
observing
yeah,
a
that
competition, wouldn't you start to naturally pick up on that?
You'd be surprised. Because it's a head fuck. Like,
Sure, it's a
with
mental
guys-
battle too.
yeah, it's like so much of it is mental, and it's like, I think you were talking about it too when you were competing. You were saying like, I know all this, I had a game plan, and then sometimes when you get in there, it just completely goes out the window, or the whole thing you're trying to manage is like your anxiety and your breathing, so you don't like gas yourself out and have a big old adrenaline dump and then can't perform. So I think a lot of times when guys, it's really easy for people in combat sports to overthink everything that they do because the
But I get,
repercussions
like-
are so high.
I get like the entry level, you need to be fascinated with what you're doing. You have to like fall in love with it to like reach a point where you're willing to dedicate so much time. It's like when I first started breaking, straight to windmills because it's flashy, it's exciting.
For sure. It's your gateway in.
Yeah, right? But like, of course, like, you know, your teacher's gonna be like, yo, get the foundation, the footwork, the flow. If you have the good flavor, the style, and you can rock the beat, but you're just like, but that's not gonna impress the chicks.
Yep.
Right.
So you have to like,
something crazy right now.
Hip
yeah,
rotations.
you got to get into that gateway kind of like thing that got you excited.
Yeah.
You have to like kind of hit an accomplishment points where you feel like, oh, I've invested enough where I can kind of do this, even if I suck at it. Where now I am like, it's a part of my identity, so I want to learn the foundation.
But that is also the difference between loving it and then the competing side.
Totally.
Yeah, it depends on what your end goal is.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's just to accomplish the windmill and not to be a great break dancer.
Yeah.
Or well-rounded.
The people who say I just wanted windmills to show off to girls or be flashy, like 10, 20 years later, they're still stuck at the same position. They don't usually have windmills.
Really?
Well, do you have windmills?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think I saw it.
I don't think so.
As he burps. Call it out, dude.
He's like, you don't look
Hey,
like
Subin, can you windmill?
I completely disagree with this statement because the point is like that was my entry into dance,
Yeah.
and then I found myself after falling in love with it. But it's because I had to know that I could accomplish something, and then from there learn that this is something for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's why I turned into the
think the biggest
world renowned choreographer. But it's all good.
I think the biggest hack is mastering your anxiety.
That's a big
It's
one.
the biggest hack. I think if you can get to a stage where you're going into competitions and you just feel calm, I think you have such an advantage over people. And I think the only way to do that is just keep going to competitions.
That's the hard part, yeah.
So,
keep showing
fucking
up.
advice my coach gave me when we came back. So, he's my jiu-jitsu coach, but I'm his strength and conditioning coach. So we actually hang out almost every day in the morning when we train.
Best friends or what?
Getting swole.
Or what?
Yeah, dude. Swole, bros. You don't watch
bro.
their stories, bro?
Swole bros.
They're pretty close.
What he told me, he's like, this is what I want you to do. I need you to compete every month.
Damn.
And I was like, what the fuck? Like every month you want me to compete?
Yeah, but it's not about winning.
He goes, yeah. He goes, doesn't matter. He goes, lose all 10. I don't care. But I want you to go into a competition with a low heartbeat. He's like, that's the goal. And I'm like,
Smart.
I'm 40 years old, dude. I'm just trying to chill. I'm like, the only time I want to have increased heart rate is if I can't make a mortgage payment or like some normal shit. But I started thinking about that a lot. And I'm like, I should do that. I should try to compete as much as I can so that it becomes normal. Then once you get over that hump, you can actually think about how do I get good at a competition. Yeah, because he's like, if you're still just getting over the whole competition jitters and all that, he's like, you're not going to be able to execute your game plan.
Yeah, it's such a tough threshold.
I want to do one.
Let's do one.
Okay.
I want to do one too.
But that's why Hanato's like, his style is so chill,
Just
too.
at each other.
Yeah, yeah.
For a reason.
Yeah.
Would you actually compete, Kalyne?
Yeah, I think when I actually
Because you've been doing some jiu-jitsu.
when I train more,
I'm a good punching bag to level up on.
I would definitely do it.
Hold on.
It would take some time.
Can we do like a JK adventure, but at Lionheart Jiu-Jitsu, and then all of us try to compete with each other?
We should. I'm a good ref.
I feel like I'm at a disadvantage.
Competition.
A stranger's better because you could go full force.
Competition is way different.
I got some
than-
strangers for you guys.
I
to
mean,
fight.
technically, we don't really. None of us train, so I mean, except you and you guys. But I'm just saying, for us, we only know is whatever we know, so it'll be the same level technically. That's what you meant by competition?
Well, not really.
I bet Subin and Kalyne for the super fight. I'm putting my money on Kalyne, I think.
Oh shit.
There's no winner's competition. I don't see.
Yeah, but Subin's probably stronger. Subin's probably strong. What?
He's gonna try to take you down.
I'm taking it out.
I don't think so. I don't think you're gonna take her down.
You know what's crazy? Is at the highest level, jiu-jitsu kind of nullifies genders too.
Yeah.
So my coach, one of my coaches, I have two head coaches. One of my coaches is a girl. She's 145. And I roll with her every now and then. She beats the literal fuck out of me. And I don't even know how that happens. I don't know how she's able to like apply this pressure that feels like she's a 250-pound man. But I'm like, what the f-?
No, I got smoked at 87-11 too. Two little girls. I went to 87-11. And I was just like, oh, try it. I tried to, they just knew how to work it.
Yeah.
And then I just got smoked by two.
Sometimes you can use
the fancy
people's
smokes,
like power against them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like then you're not tiring yourself out, and you can just utilize that to your advantage.
And like when I'm rolling with chicks, like sometimes I'm like, it feels weird to like turn the man energy on.
I don't think so.
So like I don't like, this is like this weird, right?
Yeah.
No, I fight for my life because I can't let a girl win, but she always wins.
But with her, I had to like
You have to turn it on a
I had to
bit.
turn it on, right? And then afterwards, I was like, hey coach, I was like, because I do outweigh you by a lot. I'm like, was that like too much pressure or what is that? She was like, what do you mean? I just smashed you for the whole round. Yeah, I'm like, okay, fine.
She says it like that too.
So like these white belts, dude. Did I hurt you in there? She was like, what?
She was like, what do you mean you tapped like 12 times?
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu.
I think my biggest thing is I don't want to get injured because my job requires me to be physical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is like the catch-22
It
of
is,
like wanting
yeah.
to do it,
Yeah.
but not wanting to risk the injury and risk.
Yeah, because even between friends, you can accidentally.
Well, that's why you just gotta roll with like a color.
Oh yeah, I choose.
That's a good one. That's a good way to.
Sometimes you don't always have the luxury of choosing who you roll with.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
But
As
I
a lady, you do.
But I do.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I do choose.
I
I've said
definitely
no.
should.
I've said no to people.
I definitely mainly got
I
fucked
say
up
no
by
to a lot
rolling
of
with
people,
white belts.
Yeah. Like there's certain people I don't roll with just for that reason because I'm
Yeah.
like, we're gonna have a fight and it's not gonna be fun,
Yeah.
so I'm not gonna roll.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I don't feel bad about it. It's not has nothing to do with.
The goal is to be on the mats as much as you can.
Wait, how do you say no to them?
I never said
You
no.
just say no. I'm not gonna roll.
good.
I'm good. Yeah.
You just say no.
You roll with that person. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I never said no. I take all challenges.
That's why Joe's the man, though. There's something to it when you have that confidence to take on all challengers.
No, because it's never going to be that hard anyway. I'll give up way faster.
I'll tap out way.
Way faster before they can hurt me.
Good tactic.
I say no.
I'll tap before they even get in fucking any type of position. I'm in guard, I fucking tap.
Reset.
I do. The thing that sucks ass is rolling with their significant other.
You always hit her in the head or what?
No, because they pull the significant other card.
What do you mean?
I roll with any other chick, we're rolling, right? If I roll with Gio, oh, I'm like, bitch, you don't say oh to any other person you roll with.
Nah, you
They're
should see-
they're
nah.
oh, start all over. I'm like, why? Because I fucking passed your guard, bitch.
That's
like-
funny.
She's cheating.
Yeah, I'm like, you fucking pulling that card every fucking
Do you
time.
feel like you go harder with Gio?
No, I go way lighter because I know she's a girl.
Low key, can I say something? I'm gonna interject. I'm gonna disagree with
No,
Bart.
he's lying. Fucking
I'm
lying.
gonna disagree with Bart. When I see that, because I actively, when we've trained, I brought somebody in, right?
Nah, this
so
was
they
lying.
could roll with
This
each other.
was lying like crazy.
immediate
You sound like a
intensity.
liberal right now, dude.
Immediate intensity. As soon as Gio wraps him up, he's like, he starts moving all extra. I'm like, Bart, what are you doing?
Because he can't lose to
And
Gio.
I was trying to defend this fool. I was trying to defend him, but at that moment, I couldn't defend him.
Because Bart was like, I ain't gonna
So
fucking
wait,
lose
wait,
to
wait.
Gio.
Gio got the best of him.
It wasn't that. It wasn't that fact that she got the best of him. I just saw his like, all his
Intensity?
Yeah, intensity was just way more animated. And I'm like, dude, what is all this extra energy?
Korean guy, huh?
Yeah. He turned around.
Never to lose. Never to lose energy.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's just like the competitiveness.
Significant
Yeah,
other card?
kind of. But then also, I think this fool just feels like way more comfortable with her. So he's like, oh, whatever, dude. Like we're just going at it, you know?
Like,
We're just wrestling.
I'm like, what the fuck? I never heard you say that.
It's like when I see you roll with David, I'm like, damn, bro, this guy's trying to kill David already.
David, you got it though.
You have to.
David, you got it.
Because you don't know. He might punch you in the head while you're wrestling.
He will punch you in the head.
He'll punch you hard, too.
I just.
And then he'll make it your
What'd
fault.
you think? What'd you think when you sparred with David? Hey, what'd you
He'll
think?
punch you while you're rolling, and then he'll make it your fault.
You know. Every time he hits me, I start thinking immediately. That's why there's weight classes.
David is
So I was
hard.
like, just thinking. I was looking at him like, yo, are you? I'm not even gonna ask because in my head I was gonna be like, are you in soft? Because that shit hurt.
No, because he'll be like,
Ask him. You gotta tell him.
Nah, I don't like to say that.
Nah, dude, that's not the point of training.
No, you
though.
should tell your partner.
I'm just like, damn. I'm like,
We gotta go to work. We gotta go to work the next day. We can't have no concussions.
no, and if you give him the same energy, he'll be like, hey, why you hitting so hard? And I'm like, I'm giving you the same fucking level.
but I don't think he just. I just think his soft is kind of harder. That's all.